This is Dan Dix here, reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you with another installment of what you need to know. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at an organization called Dogwood and their federally funded activists who are being paid to protest Kinder Morgan. We're also going to look into this year's feminist vision for this year's upcoming G7 summit in Quebec. And finally, we're going to show how the Belgian police have been investigating Power Corp's Paul Desmarais Jr. for his participation in the funding of Syria's Islamic State. And kicking things off for our first story for today, check out this job listings post coming from the Canada Summer Jobs Program. Work with Dogwood for the summer. Working full-time or part-time, starting on June 1st in 2018, at a rate of $15 an hour, they put out this call to students in Vancouver. As an organizing assistant through the Canada Summer Jobs Program, you will work directly with the Dogwood provincial organizer and the field organizing team to help our organizing network stop the Kinder Morgan pipeline and tanker project, as well as help us strengthen the public call for a stronger, more accountable, and transparent democracy. So what this means is you can officially apply to be a paid protester. You can earn $15 an hour as an activist fighting the Kinder Morgan pipeline. The official Dogwood Twitter account called Kinder Morgan a greedy, dangerous corporation that regularly breaks the law. And then they ironically and hypocritically shared this post saying, "Handing out our hard-earned tax dollars over to Texas oil barons? No thank you. 7 in 10 British Columbians don't want their tax dollars bailing out a Texas pipeline company. But they're perfectly fine with having your hard-earned tax dollars going towards their paid protesters and activists to fight a pipeline project?" Conservative leader Andrew Scheer posed the question, does the Prime Minister not realize that paying groups to protest against these projects is exactly part of the problem? To which Trudeau pointed out that the group had received funding under the previous Conservative government before contrasting his party with theirs. Unlike, apparently, the leader of the official opposition, we believe in free speech. We believe in advocacy on this side of the House, said Trudeau. Really? If this is about free speech, then how do you explain this? Take a look at what is now required for Canadians to agree to when applying to a federally funded summer jobs application. According to the Employment and Social Development Canada 2018 Canada Summer Jobs Application, you must carefully read the applicant guide and the attached Canada Summer Jobs article of agreement, as you will be required to attest that you have read and understood these documents by signing this form. All fields are mandatory and must be completed by the applicant. So what do they require you to attest to by checking this little box right here? Both the job and my organization's core mandate respect individual human rights in Canada, including the values underlying the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, as well as other rights. These include reproductive rights and the right to be free from discrimination on the basis of sex, religion, race, national or ethnic origin, color, mental or physical disability, or sexual orientation, or gender identity or expression. So if you're against abortions and the LGBTQ2 community's outrageous gender identity rights, you won't be allowed to participate. Where's the free speech and religious rights for Christians who oppose this garbage? This amounts to an ideology test that is draconian, communistic, and a downright violation of charter rights. The Liberal government have become the thought police here, telling organizations what they need to stand for in order to be eligible to receive funding. So don't worry about Kinder Morgan. We've got our best anti-abortion, pro-gender rights activists on the job. And you're paying for it. And for our second story for today, the W7, or the feminist vision for the G7, is currently meeting in Ottawa with Canada's biggest feminist of them all, Justin Trudeau. For the first time ever, the G7 engagement process includes a summit of diverse feminist leaders. The W7, Feminist Visions for the G7. The W7 will bring together feminists who are trailblazers in their communities, ensuring that marginalized voices can engage equally in decision and policy-making processes. Alright, fair enough. Let's have a look at how this equality should look like, shall we? W7 Summit Feminist Vision for the G7. We will be framing the discussion around several thematic areas. Women's economic empowerment? Well, get ready to pay for your own tabs half the time. And you could say goodbye to maternity leave. We wouldn't want to distort the wage gap now, would we? Peace and security. Guess you better register for the draft. Oh, and when it comes to being rescued, it's just children first. That's it. Climate change. Working together to address climate change, specifically the gendered impacts of climate change. Right, because we're equal, except when it comes to the effects of the sun getting hotter, then it's due to mankind, not peoplekind. Feminist movement building. Chivalry is dead. Sexual and reproductive health and rights. Because screw the rights of an unborn human being, they're just cells, like a cancer, right? Violence against women. Well, for all the psychos out there who love to start a fight, get ready to be hit back. And last but not least, intersectional feminism. Because having a male feminist for a prime minister just doesn't quite cut it. Now don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, I have never hit a woman in my life, nor would I, no matter how much she might deserve it. And I want to point out that I do support real feminists, like Christina Hoff Sommers, someone who understands the real issues and struggles that women have. But today's third wave of feminism is a cancer that needs to be eradicated from all of peoplekind. If you haven't seen it yet, check out this interview my fiance did with Paul Joseph Watson titled, "This is not about feminism, it's about control by the state." A link will be located in the description below. And for our third and final story for today, Power Corp's Paul Desmarais Jr. is trending on Twitter today for his alleged involvement in the funding of the Islamic State in Syria. According to an article posted by a publication known as The World, Paul Desmarais Jr. and 3 other directors of GBL, a holding company of the families Frere and Desmarais, were met by Belgian police officers on December 13th of 2017, with their phones having been tapped in the months leading up to their meeting. The Belgian police were trying to figure out exactly what the direction of GBL, or Group Bruxelles Lambert, was in the case of alleged payments to Lafarge at the armed group Islamic State in Syria between 2012 and 2014. Paul Desmarais Jr., co-CEO of Power Corporation, has served on the board of Lafarge since 2008. Paul Desmarais Jr. just so happens to be great friends with Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who is just as eager to enter Syria under the guise of a humanitarian mission as his Western counterparts, the US, UK, and France. I've exposed in my video, We Are ISIS, Here's the Proof, how the US has been involved in creating ISIS by funding them, arming them, and training them. And if these new allegations do in fact turn out to be true, it will leave no question that the Canadian government also, through their pals at Power Corp, have been involved in actually building up the big bad boogeyman in the Middle East known as ISIS as an excuse for military intervention with the goals of regime change. We are constantly being manipulated by the powers that ought not to be to go along with their goals of taking over the Middle East and to take away all of our basic rights and fundamental freedoms right here at home. This is something I've been warning about here at Press for Truth for many years now, and it's time people start paying attention before it's too late. So that'll do it for today, my friends. Please click on that like button, and don't forget to click the little bell button and then get all notifications. Otherwise, these videos won't always show up in your subscribers' feed. They don't like it when I expose their dirty deeds that are done in the dark, so help me shine a light on what they're doing, and let's watch them scatter like cockroaches out of fear of being exposed. You can contribute to our efforts by becoming a PFT member or a PFT patron, or by visiting pressfortruth.ca/donate to make a contribution, and together we'll smash that pyramid one brick at a time. So thanks for watching, my friends. Please share this video if you found the information to be useful. And stay tuned, we've got more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth.